Hello my Florida Garden Escape channel, and welcome back. I'm happy to have you guys here. So today we are going to be transplanting out our sunflowers as it is time for them to come out. And I'll go ahead and really quick show you guys on how we know it is time for them to come out. Now if you look really carefully, you can kind of see the roots down there at the bottom. And then if I turn it here, you can kind of see them there. So this is telling me that they are starting to become root bounded, and that's what we don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys around here so you can kind of see what I already have done. So here is one of the sunflowers, and then here is another one. Now, you guys are probably wondering what is happening to these sunflowers. Like, what has ate on them? Now, if you guys know, they were in my seedling tent, and this is going to be a really funny story, so you brace yourselves. It happened a couple of days ago. I was inside, my dogs were loose, and I had just gotten home. It was a crazy busy day. And I guess my Roddy got mad at me. I don't know what I did for her to get mad at me. So she decided to eat on my sunflowers. Not once, but twice. And this is what they looked like when I found them. Now, as you guys can imagine, I was so upset because I've been growing these seedlings from seed. Like, I've been raising them, growing them, watching them grow. They were doing great, and then she eats on them. I was so unhappy. I told her I did not love her for that day, but I'm not mad at her anymore. We are best friends now again, and I still love her, and she's still my Roddy. But now we're gonna go ahead and get started, and let's get this sunflower transplanted in the ground. Alright, now as you guys can see, it looks like a lot of the dirt in that was turned up, as I did turn the soil. And what I used was this little rake right here to turn my soil. And all I did was I just stick it in the ground and kind of turn it like this, kind of mix it all around before I get the plants put in here. Now they do say that it is good for you to kind of turn your plants. I mean, not turn your plants, but turn your soil. So that way it helps get the air cycle and the nutrients flowing through. And what I'm also going through here and doing is removing any of the weeds, like clumps of dirt like this, tossing them out, things like that, kind of getting them out of here. So that way the sunflower has no reason to fight with any of the weeds or anything like that. So let's go ahead and dig our hole now for our sunflower. Alright, so as you guys see here, I have a small pointy shovel to kind of help me dig this dirt up. And I'm just going to move the dirt aside so that way I can reuse it for the sunflower once I put it in the hole. And I'm not going to make it super deep because we just need it as deep as the soil cup here. So we shouldn't have to make a deep hole. So let's just dig this out and move all this dirt aside, and I'm just going to show you guys really quick how the hole looks. So that is our hole for our seedling, and I'm going to show you how we get it out here. Alright, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the cup upside down, and I'm going to want to do this more over the hole so that way the soil gets in the hole. And I'm just going to squeeze the cup around the edges like this, and then shake. And as you can see, I'm going to try and tilt this over some. As you can see, all those roots are down there at the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and set this in the hole. Now this evening, I won't water right now because the sun is still out. You never want to water when the sun is at its highest peak because you can burn your leaves. So now I'm just going to go ahead and push the soil all back around this plant. Get it all good. Now when you transplant everything out, you always want to make sure, and I'm going to show you guys really quick, when you're transplanting your sunflowers out, you never want to go above that notch because that's going to be the protectant and where it can still shoot those flowers out. So you want to make sure you keep the soil about 6 inches away from that right there, about this height right here. I wouldn't say that's 6 inches. My measurement could be wrong there, but you never want to go above that because it's still growing there. So we want to make sure we don't cover it that high. Now what we're going to do with the rest of it, we're going to throw in some pine straw around it to help keep the soil moist and help it hold that dirt in. Now that we got these sunflowers out, they should be good to go, and they'll get much bigger And another reason why we're transplanting these out is you'll notice on some of these leaves, like this one, and even over here, and also over here, where some of the leaves are starting to turn yellow. And the reason why they're turning yellow is just due to them being root bounded. They needed more room to grow, so we're bringing them out here, and this is going to give them a chance to get that room to grow. Now, while we're out here, I do want to show you guys something else. And I stumbled upon this the other day. I'm going to flip you around and show you now. But now, as you can see, I did cut down all the dead ones so we don't have any more of the dead notches up here. But we have more Canaan lilies coming through. Now, this is one thing I love about the Canaan lilies. They always come back. No matter how dead they become and all that, they still come back. Like, look how great these leaves are already looking. And these are going to get much bigger, much taller, and things like that. Now, what I'm going to do with our Canaan lily is I'm going to kind of come around here, around the edge of it, and kind of turn the soil around it, so that way we can get a lot of the weeds and that away from around it. So that way it really helps it expand it out and get taller. So that way it's not fighting with any of the weeds. Now, as you guys remember, we have out here the scarlet carrots and the red acre cabbage. But our red acre cabbage is getting big, and I'll show you. So if you guys don't remember, our red acre cabbage did look like this. But now it is much bigger, and it looks like this. And this is what it looks like now. Now the leaves are much bigger and they're doing great. And as you can see, there's starting to be cabbage starting to form in the middle. Now, before you guys ask me, Selena, why does your cabbage look so droopy? There's only going to be two reasons why your plants are droopy. It's either going to be A, they need water, which my red acre cabbage does need water, and we will water this evening. We don't want to water right now because the sun is still high out, and I don't want it to burn the leaves. Another reason why your plant could be droopy is due to it getting too much sun. You may need to find a shadier area for it, especially if you're getting in a hotter season and the plants don't like a lot of the heat. So, and then also another thing, guys, if you ever notice how your plants are starting to lose their color or they're starting to turn a different color, that is normally due to they are needing to be fed, they're missing some kind of nutrition, or there's something eating on it that's causing the leaves in that to turn yellow. But we're going to turn the soil out in our big garden. As you can see, these guys are getting really big. They're getting too big for this pot. They definitely need to be spread out more because they're going to need that room to grow. So we're going to turn the soil out in the big garden, get some more mulch out there, and then get these guys out there. But they are looking much better. We'll water this evening, and they'll love that water. Now, with our watering, I try to water down by the soil. I try not to get the water on the leaves because it can hurt those leaves. But now we're going to jump back to the back area, and I'm going to show you what we got going on out there. So another thing before we do jump out to the big garden, I want to really quickly show you guys how well our marigold seeds germinate. And this is going to be a really prime example. Now, if you guys don't recall, we did a cleanup of our front garden area. And that's where we really turned the soil, pulled all the weeds out, we hacked through it all. If you didn't get to see that video, I'll post a link down in the details below, so that way you can watch that video. But what we're going to be doing here, what I'm showing you here, is how well our seeds have germinated. Now, the way they got here is when our marigolds shot out other pods, it's always good to take off the dying off pods, so that way it pushes out more blooms. I know I keep saying that to you guys, but it really does work. Now, in this marigold pods, there is their little seeds. And that is what you're going to be collecting. And we'll have a whole nother video on seed collecting and things like that once it comes time. We don't have anything ready to be collected. Everything is still growing. We're getting into springtime, so we're just getting everything started. But this is how well our seeds have germinated. This could be our petite yellow marigold seeds. This could be our yellow and red French dwarf marigold seeds as well. So there's going to be two possibilities these can be. I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys around, show you exactly how many we have here, because we have a lot. Now, do keep in mind, I didn't go through in the back area of this section and do the weeding here. As we really don't plan on doing too much with the area. This area doesn't get a whole lot of sun. It mainly stays shaded majority of the time. But let's go ahead and check this out. So from here, you probably are wondering, probably saying, Selena, I don't see anything. I see weeds. That's all I see. But get ready. If you go in closer, these all right here are marigolds. All of these, and even over here, they are all marigolds. Now, the one way we know what is a marigold and what isn't is, for example, let's see, find some. So up here we have some more. As you see, marigolds start out with just two oval leaves, just like these here. They start out with these two oval leaves, and as you can see, as it grows, the leaves start getting pointier. And they first start out having that purple shade as we're seeing here on these. They always start out like that. But then as they grow, they get much bigger. Now, another reason why we didn't pull everything up from this area is also because I did run across these marigold seedlings. Now, we did move some around on the other section because where they were growing was right there around a lot of concrete in that, and they weren't going to be able to grow. So I had to move them. So I went ahead and moved them and got them all spread out in their own little pots. Now, as you guys see here, there is a lot, like there is a whole bunch there, a whole bunch right here. I know there's a few weeds in there. Don't mind that, guys. We're not concerned with the weeds right now. But you can see how many have popped off. And this is just from us taking those seeds and throwing them out here, right here on the ground. And it rains, and when it rains, it moves a lot of the dirt around, so the seeds get moved around as well. But we ended up getting tons of marigolds. So we have, I want to say, we have a really great rate with our germination of our marigold seeds. And this is a few others. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly show you guys the other marigolds we've kind of moved around and found here. And that's all the marigolds that have re-germinated back out from the seeds we have spreaded. So we got our sunflowers transplanted out. Now, what I'm going to come out here and show you guys really quick Now, what I wanted to show you guys really quick before we end the day, and I let you guys know what to keep a lookout for. So I want to show you really quick what I mean by we're going to be turning our soil and what we're going to be doing out here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you around, and I'm also going to kind of give you guys an update on how everything's doing. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here you do see we have a lot of weeds going on. What we plan on doing is through everything, we are going to pull everything up just like we did in the front garden area. It's going to be similar to that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come out here and bring a lot of mulch and put about 10 inches of mulch to cover this whole ground. And at first I want to see how well it's going to do, see if the weeds will break through or not, and really get everything kind of turned up and going. Now, once we get the soil turned, then we're going to be really getting everything transplanted out here, and we should see some major growth. But now let's go ahead and take a look. I'm really excited to show you guys. So this is our blackberries, and they are blossoming. Now, as you can see here, we definitely do need to come through here, weed out everything, and get it kind of cleared, pushed back, so that way it's not fighting with any weeds. Now, that is going to be another goal this weekend that we're going to do, and you'll see a video on this as well. Now, here's another one of our blackberries. My old man, for some reason, thought they were dead and they weren't going to come back. But as you can see, if my camera would clear up, it's growing leaves. It's coming back. It is looking beautiful. I'm very happy with it. I'm really looking forward to this coming season, see how big it gets, see what we get out of it. Now, the other one over here is doing the same thing. Now, keep in mind, guys, we do need to come through here, do a lot of weeding, got a lot to tend to. We're getting to the warmer time, so we really got to start cracking down and getting everything ready, because everything is starting to push out, and I don't want this plant to fight with these weeds to grow. I want it to have all the room to grow and no reason to fight. So we're going to clear all this out and get it all weeded. Now, as you guys remembered, we did harvest some lettuce a while back, and guys, I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed. A rabbit has gotten a hold of our lettuce. They literally ate everything of the baby romaine. There is nothing left. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to come out here and pull all this out and pull everything they ate, so that way more can grow back. Oh wow, looks like they got another one over here as well. We're gonna have to get that camera back up and going so I can see if it's the rabbits or if it's possibly deer. We're gonna have to investigate here, because I know we got deer in the area. If they're hungry, we can put some food somewhere else for them, not in my garden. But everything else is looking good. Doesn't look like they got a hold of anything else. That Grand Rapids is looking great. We have already harvested and cleaned up a lot of it, and it tastes marvelous. Now over here we have another butter crunch, and it looks like it is ready to be harvested. It's pretty flowery. As you can see, it's getting more in the center. So what I'm going to come out here and do is kind of go ahead and get a lot of this pulled off and cleared out, because this one, I'm not sure. This is the smallest one I do have. I've never had my butter crunch be this small, as you guys have seen before. But now let's go ahead and look over here. Here's our other butter crunch. It is growing back beautifully. It's coming there pretty good, so we can't complain. Here's some more over here, and this is going to be some baby romaine. We're going to get some of it plucked. As you can see, we got a lot of weed eating to do. Now, another thing, guys, if you remember from the other video as well, excuse me, we harvested this celery. As you can see, it's already starting to come back again. So it looks like we're going to get another production out of it. Now, from my understanding, the Utah celery, you're only supposed to get 2 productions out of the Utah celery, but it looks like we're going to get another, and I'm not going to complain. So we're going to be testing the boundaries on it, but as you can see, we definitely have a lot of cleaning up to do, and we're going to get all this hacked away and get it all cleared up. Now, for our blueberries, as you can see, guys, they are getting their blossoms. Aren't those beautiful? Aren't these just beautiful? Aren't they just beautiful? And they're just growing here. They just got started popping out and everything. So they're doing great. I'm really looking forward to when they blossom. This one hasn't gotten anything on it yet, and neither has this far end one. Now here is our black macadamia. It's still same as it was before. We're not sure if it's coming back or not, or if it will, or if that frost did kill it because we didn't have anything to cover over it. The black macadamia we weren't too much of a fan of. This is what they are supposed to look like. We had seen one in a nursery that had some of the black macadamias growing, and they were ready to be plucked and ready to be processed and everything, and we said, why not? And by why not, I mean we plucked it and tried it to see how it would taste, because we have one. That didn't taste too good. It was not very good at all. Like, it was sour. It had a very bold and distinct taste that you wouldn't ever be able to forget. It's not something I really am looking forward to harvesting, to be honest, because of its flavor. Now, I have heard that you can make great jams and things like that out of the black macadamias, and they taste really great. But I haven't done too much research into how that process goes about. Well, guys, that is pretty much the update I really wanted to give you guys. There's not really too much else going on around here. We got the sunflowers transplanted, as you've seen. We will eventually get the red acre cabbage transplanted out this weekend. We'll do a whole video on that along with the cleanup of the big garden space area. But that's going to wrap up our video today, guys. I want to thank you for hanging out with me here at Florida Garden Escape. You guys have a wonderful and great rest of your day, and keep growing. Deuces!